Big Z Reviews. Love Lies Bleeding is a new indie thriller that came out recently, and it's an interesting film. I enjoyed it.
You're looking pretty good in there. There's some pretty serious lines going.
Yeah?
Why don't you want me working for your dad? Well, he's a psycho.
Do you like guns?
I prefer to know my own strength.
So this is written and directed by Rose Glass. I think this is her second film now. And it mainly stars Kristen Stewart as Lou and Katy O'Brian as Jackie. And essentially she is, Kristen Stewart, she is like the daughter of the local gun runner that he owns a gun club, and he also ships guns illegally down to Mexico and has a long line of bodies that he's taking care of in this spot. And then Kristen Stewart, she's kind of estranged from him, but still working at a gym that he owns. And this girl comes in, Katy O'Brian, that's getting ready for a bodybuilding show in Vegas, and they kind of hook up and they form a relationship, and that's the film before shit goes going crazy. And I think that it's a gorgeous film, and the acting is great. And I think though that I almost love that if it would have had a little bit more time with these two characters actually showing that they're in love, because there's a little bit of that, but when stuff starts going crazy, I think they lean a little bit too much into the steroids make girl go crazy bit. It's yeah, okay. And there's there's some really cool stuff though with body horror, but also it's some weird stuff when she is almost you see her muscles twitching and getting huge, and there's stuff a gigantic stuff that's interesting, but also I think it's not actually happening. There's some really trippy visuals at different times. I think it's almost it's not real, but it's then you see what actually happened. It's a kind of a cool way to do something almost supernatural and over the top, and then you kind of see what actually happened right after. To kind of do it both ways, and so it's really interesting. But in this way, essentially, there's also she has a sister, and her husband's a douchebag, and when he once again puts her in the hospital, that things go out of hand with some actions that they commit, and there's also a whole bunch of things because the FBI circling around because they're looking into her father, so that there's a lot of interesting stuff, and he had the actual bodybuilding show. And the story behind this is really cool because Kristen Stewart and Rose Glass were linked together, and they're looking for a female bodybuilder to be her, in the couple, and that she someone said, "Hey, Katy O'Brian be perfect for it," and she "Yeah, I would," and sent a PowerPoint, and really went through all sorts of auditions to get it, and it's just kind of really cool to do that. And then she looks great. It has the whole film has that 80s bodybuilding aesthetic, and she looks great. But it's funny, she's definitely in the main plot of this film is that Kristen Stewart has access to drugs. And at the start, Katy O'Brian said that she's, all natty, she's natural, but then starts juicing a bit because, she's a drifter essentially. But once they get that, it's kind of funny because I think Katy O'Brian, she actually is a natural. She might be on a little bit, but it's so interesting. Her voice is normal. And that's the one thing, because when I've lost a lot of weight, and I've been doing a lot of weightlifting, and I'm not I keep an eye on watch some of the bodybuilding stuff, and just the YouTube videos and stuff, and I keep up to date with some of that, the whole scene. And it's funny though with a woman, if they're in the search for, being the strongest woman and having muscles, and you start to dip into the sauce, trembolone sandwiches or whatever, especially back then. There's different stuff now, but even now, if any of these like Instagram models, these muscle mommies, if they take one cycle, all of a sudden, bam, they sound like a man, and it's over. Like they went through male puberty, like through the testosterone and all the drugs, and their voices forever change. And it's like if you are going after that, it's something that you have to accept. But it's like, Katy O'Brien's voice is completely feminine, and so she's obviously not going too hard in that the muscle journey for women. So, but like, and she also say she's not like she's not dry as a bone. Like she didn't really go like real low body fat. Like that's like, well, back then I think it wasn't as important. Now it's kind of funny. That's some of the most dangerous parts for bodybuilders, especially women. I know was last year, a woman died with from the diuretics, like her kidney failed, and she died getting ready for a bodybuilding show. But it's kind of interesting right now. I know there was a bit of a controversy recently with the Arnold, like because they only have two female bodybuilding aspects of the show, and it's just bikini and wellness, and they're both the hot female bodybuilding categories. They're the categories that mostly focus on the butt, and they're not bodybuilding and not physique, which is much more just the same as men's bodybuilding. It's all about the muscle. But it's funny, bikini is probably like the only professional bodybuilding category where you can win and be 100% natural. Although again, they probably would be dipping into the diuretics to try to, and different things to lose as much fat and water as possible. But it's funny that, and extensions and implants, so they're not completely natural. But it's kind of like they didn't really have wellness there. I don't think I've had bikini back then. It's kind of it's interesting seeing that like, you don't get much of the bodybuilding. You get a little bit of bodybuilding, but it's kind of it's what happens is crazy because like she's going like on a steroid trip. Like I almost wish like it was clear she was also like psychotic. Like there's aspect to say that she might be something's going on with her. It's not just the drugs, or if she was dipping in the other like psychotics, like LSD or something along with the steroids. But at the same time, like I really like them. I think too that it's too bad. Like every relationship in this movie is abusive. Like even like the main relationship between Kristen Stewart and Katy O'Brian has abusive aspects to it, and it's like it kind of sucks. And I almost wish that like, well, why is Kristen Stewart doing so much for this girl that I think in like the time it feels even shorter, but I think there's been like 4 weeks or something like that they've been together. So, but like it's not like super long. I almost wish they would show more, and it feels like they really love each other before the shit goes down. And I won't spoil anything, but it's definitely when some stuff goes down, like it's brutal. Like it's nothing crazy. Like I've seen worse, but like it's definitely not just like not PG. It's definitely R-rated violence, and it's an interesting film. I love Ed Harris as the douchebag dad. Is an interesting character, but at the same time, like he is kind of loving, but he's an evil man. But like once he realizes that okay, we've gone down a route, I have to take care of stuff. Like he starts taking care of it, and the character is like, "How can you do this to me?" And it's like, "Oh, it's an interesting character he plays. Although his hair is ridiculous, but it's fun." And I liked a lot about this film. But I don't know if I loved it. Like, I'm not sure if this is a film I'll come back to. But it's a pretty tight little thriller. I did enjoy it. I probably give it like an 8 out of 10, 7.75 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.